Well, good morning. This is Victoria Day from Women's Issues, Women's Voices, and I am here with Trina Brunk.
Hello, Vic.
Hello.
So good
Trina,
to see you.
Trina, where is it that we are connecting? I'm in Columbia, Missouri. You are in?
I'm in Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. I have to read.
Yeah, so just north of you, just a couple hundred,
up.
465 miles.
Yeah, if I started driving north, I would end up there.
Yes, and you could come in. Yeah, we go walking alongside the Mississippi River.
Okay, so Trina, you are a hometown girl, as with multiple R's,
Girl.
from Columbia originally. Grew up here.
No. In my heart,
Mhm.
Columbia is probably the most home that I could call any place.
Mhm.
I've made a home in different places in the world. I grew up in Hillsborough. I grew up like south of St. Louis.
Okay.
And when my oldest sister Tracy had come to Columbia to go to the university, and she kind of like beckoned to all of us younger sisters and said, "Hey, there's a really cool place." Yeah, I found a place that felt like myself was welcomed, which was a very nice feeling.
So there may be some listeners that are saying, "Oh, Trina, I know her." And they may recognize your name, your voice. And that's what I mean. When I think of you, I think of your voice. I think of your singing voice. Right? What else do you want the listeners, those who know you or don't know you? How else do you introduce yourself?
Well, professionally, I am I'm a coach, and I do hypnotherapy. And most recently, I've been really intrigued by how we do creativity, like those people who identify as creative, how they do creativity, because it's such a vital force, and like as many people have a history of complex trauma, and it's like a long road of healing. What I find is that like when we're able to plug creativity in there, there's like some beauty that comes through the pain, and the healing is much more accessible, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
And so I'm interested in that. I'm interested in studying. That's what I'm currently passionate about.
Wow. Does your music come into this?
Oh yeah. My music is like is one of my media through which I'm able to experience myself as being creative. And I know when I'm shut down, when it's like it doesn't feel good to play, it doesn't feel good to practice. And when I'm not shut down, when I'm like really plugged in and flowing, how good it feels just to be alive, and how bridging those two states has been like, it's part of my own healing.
Yeah, I resonate with that because it's the same thing, right? That I notice when I have not been in my body for a period of days. And it's less and less as I've grown in my practices, but yeah, that's a real cue to me that like that I've shut down something.
Right. And I think about all the people who don't identify as creative. They think, oh, I'm not. Or people who sense that they are, but they've been squished. Like what can be done to help bring that back online? I think that our planet will heal when more people are embodying their creativity.
Yeah. Well, and so just even to bring that into the conversation we were having before this. So listeners, so this is an interview inspired by a Facebook post by our dear friend Anne-Marie Long, where she was saying, oh, if we just had more story hours, right? This is part of what our country needs. And then out of that conversation, I said, oh, I want to hear I want to hear women's stories. But I have learned with this interview, with my life, with professionally and personally, it's always good to have some structure.
Right. Good.
But that I really, I have an intention, but I don't have a plan.
Right.
Right. And so that's when you said, oh, I thought we were going to read, one sort of story. And I was like, no, tell me what's important to you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I actually, wow, this is, what's her name? Araya Mountain Dreamer, right? That the invitation, right?
Yeah.
Is, I mean, it's like, like, tell me what is important to you. So that's whenever you want to tell that story, whatever that is.
Yeah. And so like what I first thought was, oh, I'll read one of the children's stories that was really a big deal in my family when I was reading to my children when they were small, and how much of a bonding experience that was. But then when I heard you say the second thing, I was like, oh, well, I wrote a book. And I've got it temporarily offline while I need to rewrite some things. But there's some parts of it that I was thinking, oh, this is really right on with what I want to share.
So what you're saying to people is, if they're excited about what they hear today, don't necessarily go out and find an old copy, because the brand new spanking copy is brewing.
It's coming. Yeah. Yeah. And then tell them to reach out to me. They can find me at trinabrunk.com. Yeah, so here's an excerpt that has that's kind of about like the cycle of like feeling the pain at home and needing to leave, finding what you think you want, and then realizing that you got to come back to where you started.
Okay.
Yeah. So shall I start reading?
Does it have, do you have, I mean, I assume it's part of a chapter, or, right? But
yeah.
Oh, this is your copy of the book.
My cat liked it.
Yeah, I have one that
my cat said it was a good book. It's called Closer Than You Think, but a new edition will be coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does this part of the story have a title?
That's what. Yes, it's chapter 6, and it's called Away.
Okay, take it away.
So I have this confession to make. I used to avoid being around you because you had a lot of pain in your energy field. And I did not want to feel that. I figured that you were screwed up and I just hadn't found the people who weren't screwed up. So I hung out by myself, waiting for the time when I would meet those people, someone I could feel safe with. And I journeyed. By some miracle of grace, in a far distant land, I did find some of those people. They were beautiful. They welcomed me in, and I felt warm and loved. And love was easy, and it came with no great price. Just to be myself, to stand up tall, to sing my truth. It was heaven for a little while. I felt myself growing stronger and more confident, more real, less pretend. I was the duckling no longer ugly. And at some point, I started to feel this itch inside me. Maybe I'm a migratory bird and my internal programming predisposes me to fly back to where I began. In any case, somehow my flight path took me directly back to you. And it does. It still freaks me out that you carry so much pain. It makes me feel like I did in those moments when I was small and everyone around me was hurting and no one was talking, much less singing, only screaming or frozen in silence. No matter that I'm now big and I know I'm a swan, It still sends me curling up in a fetal position, life force squeezed out of me like a sponge, hovering over me nervously, wings beating against closed window glass. And you are so used to the pain, you don't even notice it or realize that anything is wrong. Or you do, and you just accept that this is the way things are. How do you carry so many burdens not your own and still know how to love? You are my own, I'm sure of it. I've seen your feathers gleaming white under the muck and the mud. Waking up to a bleary morning, gritty film over eyes making the eyelids redundant, dull ache in the heart and agitation in the gut. Maybe we're not getting out of here now or ever. Maybe there is no other place to go. Maybe instead of getting out, something stubborn says, dive inside, find home here, now, inside me, instead of going away to find it elsewhere. Mind is spinning with that thought. How? How will I do it? Relaxing the mind, uncurling the infant from her protected repose, pulling the life force back into my body with a snap. Surveying the damage. With jarring immediacy, I suddenly see that the you I fled from was really me. So that's it.
So with the minute that's left of this recording, is there anything you want to add, or do you want to just leave that right there?
I'm happy to leave it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, do you have any preference?
I think that's wonderful. I'm going to stop the recording.